Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich A.N. back for your first video blog of the day for Sunday, January 17, 2016, around 7:44 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's going to be a mix of sun and clouds today. Highs about a couple of degrees above freezing, 34, 35 degrees. And tonight could be some scattered snow showers or snow squalls. A coating to 2 inches expected, but not many towns are going to get 2 inches and stuff. That might be in the North Shore and the Cape, and it's going to be hit or miss. Some places might have a snow squall. It could be 2 inches. We go to 2 towns over, be coating or nothing. Some news to report. Boston Bruins beat the Toronto Maple Leafs by the score of 3-2. The Bruins back on a winning streak. Also, the Boston Celtics beat the Washington Wizards by the score of 119-117 in the NFL Division Round playoffs. The Arizona Cardinals beat the Green Bay Packers in overtime by the score of 26-20, and the Cardinals advance to the NFC title game next week. And also, the Golden State Warriors lost, so they're 37-4. And the Philadelphia 76ers won again. They're 5-36. And the UMass Lowell Riverhawks hockey team blanked the UMass Minuteman by score 5-0 last night at the Tsongas Center. And sad news to report in the world of football. Former NFL quarterback and coach Ted Marchibroda passed away at the age of 84. Ted was a quarterback in the 50s. Later, he was a coach for the Baltimore/Indianapolis Colts and the Baltimore Ravens. So prayers to his family. That's about it on the news. My first video blog subject of the day is about the syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune. The syndicated version of the Wheel of Fortune has lasted over 30 years in syndication. It's produced by Merv Griffin for many years. Now it's produced by Sony Pictures Television. And the host is Pat Sajak. And Vanna White's the letter Turner and co-host. And the announcers over the years for Wheel of Fortune was Jack Clark, Charlie O'Jono, Rich Fields, and its current announcer, Jim Thornton. The syndicated Wheel of Fortune, or the nighttime Wheel of Fortune, debuted in September 1983. The Wheel of Fortune was a daytime game show on NBC that was so popular. It was probably the second highest ranked game show on daytime television. A couple of times Merv Griffin tried to syndicate it as a once-a-week show in the late 70s through 20th Century Fox, but not too many stations picked it up. And when Merv renegotiated a deal with NBC for like Wheel of Fortune, extend the rights, he had a clause in that contract to have it syndicated. And the first dibs were NBC stations, but they kind of passed on it because they were committed to the syndicated version of Family Feud hosted by Richard Dawson. And the first only about 50 stations televised the syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune, which was September 19th, 1983. It wasn't in major cities like New York or Philadelphia or Houston or Boston. Actually, one of the first stations to pick it up was in Providence, Rhode Island on WPRI Channel 12, which they still show it today. And basically, Wheel of Fortune was played, the same rules applied as the daytime version, but the nighttime version, but with some twist. They added prizes to the wheel wedges, and if they solved the puzzle, they kept the prizes. But if they had bankrupt, they would lose the prize and stuff. Plus, they upped the dollar amounts on the wheel from like $750 the first one to $1,000 to the second round to like $2,000, and the third round or more was $5,000. Plus, they had still had the shopping elements to it after they won, they could go shopping. That was dropped in 1987, 88 syndicated seasons because it would interrupt it would slow the pace down. And also, they had like the champions only appear once. They did not have returning champions on this version of Wheel of Fortune for many, many years. The first like 7 years in syndication, because they would tape a bunch of the syndicated version of Wheel of Fortunes, as many as 20 in like a 4-day period, and some television stations would show different airings of the Wheel of Fortune for the first couple of years in syndication, and they were usually like in the mid-afternoon. Some of them showed it overnight, but when these stations showed it, it was the highest ranked show in that time period in that town. Soon, many stations were picking up Wheel of Fortune like gangbusters, and within a year, Wheel of Fortune became the #1 syndicated program in all of the United States. Its distributor was King World, and the next year, Wheel of Fortune got prime access before prime time at 7 p.m. on most television stations across the United States. It was seen locally in Boston on WHDH Channel 7 for about 18 years. Then it went to WSBK TV 38 in 2001. Since 2009, it's on WBZ Channel 4 in Boston at 7 p.m. And they also had the weekend version of Wheel of Fortune, which was reruns of the past week's syndicated version, or repeat of earlier season of Wheel of Fortune syndication. And eventually they'd like changed some of the rules on Wheel of Fortune. They had returning champions from like the syndicated from like 1989 through 1995. They had the base had the bonus round, but now they had like 5 prizes, WEEL, wheel, and they would select which prize they won. They would play the bonus round. They would always use R, S, T, L, and E, and the contestants would have to get 3 more consonants and 1 more vowel, same as the daytime version. In the fall of 1991, this was the only Wheel of Fortune on the air, because the daytime version just went off the air, and it continued to get more and more popular. Pat Sajak and Matt Vanna White were like internationally known stars. From time to time, Wheel of Fortune would be set on location. They would go to New York City, Florida. They would even be on a cruise ship, Hawaii, Boston, Chicago, Denver, all across the United States. It became America's game. And like the 1995-1996 season, they had like they did away with the returning champions again, but they had the top 3 winners from the like Monday through Thursday show appear on Friday to play one game for them to win, like become the weekly champion. And they did that for a few years and stuff. Like in 1996, they added Wheel of Fortune added the game board was computerized, so Vanna, instead of like turning letters, Vanna tapped letters, but you still the letter turner. In April 1st, 1997, Pat and Vanna played Wheel of Fortune for charity against each other, and Alex Trebek hosted it, and Pat Sajak's wife, Leslie, was the letter turner. Got real successful. Also, they had celebrities play Wheel of Fortune for charity. They would still have theme weeks like Teenage Week and Couples Week and Best Friends Week. In 2000, they added the toss-up puzzle, which they played the first round and the third round, which they would win $1,000 and stuff. And plus, they added more stuff to the wheel, like more prizes, surprises, a mystery wedge on the wheel, which could be nothing, or $10,000. They added half a car one, which was like if they got one half of a car, they needed to win another one. If they solve the puzzle, they get the car. Plus, they had a jackpot round, jackpot bonus. If a contestant hit it right on the head, they would get the jackpot bonus if they solved the puzzle. And they added more and more stuff, and Wheel of Fortune continued to get more and more popular, continued to be the number one rated syndicated show in all the land throughout the 2000s, and it kept going and going and going. It became America's game. Now people could play it online. It has no sights of slowing down. In 2001, they kind of modified the bonus round where the contestants would spin a wheel for the final prize, and if they got the puzzle right, they could win anything in the prize from like cars, trips, jewelry, and stuff to any amount of money, $100,000 or $1 million. They even have $1 million wedge on the wheel, which is in between two bankrupts. It's a special one. And it's right in the middle and stuff, so they have to hit it right in the middle. If they hit the bankrupts, they get bankrupt. Like sometime in the mid 2000s, the totals of the contestant score became computerized instead of electronically, and it's the Wheel of Fortune's followed in the times of everything being technology and stuff. 2010s, they continue to gain steam as continuing to have the highest rated syndicated show in television. One year they actually dropped to second place because of reruns of Two and a Half Men around like 2011-2012 season. This is when like Charlie Sheen was like doing that thing, was winning and stuff, and his character was killed off of like Two and a Half Men. People want to watch reruns of his show. It actually overtook Wheel of Fortune for a year, but like Wheel of Fortune is back on top for a few more years. Now it's seriously being threatened for like the number one syndicated game show by Family Feud with Steve Harvey, and it's almost been like 35 years since the syndicated Wheel of Fortune's been on the air. 2018 would be the 35th anniversary, and it's renewed through that time. But I think Wheel of Fortune's probably going to be one of the only shows never to get canceled, in my humble opinion, because it brings big time ratings to Sony, makes millions of dollars for Sony. Television stations throughout the country always team it up with Jeopardy from 7 to 8. They are highly rated all across the country, and still people flock to watch it, and they watch the reruns on YouTube and stuff. GSN has shown like several of the syndicated seasons, mainly from the early 80s when it first started to the 1990s, but they have not been seen on GSN in about 6-7 years. I doubt reruns of Wheel of Fortune will ever be shown on Buzzer, because that's a Fremantle production, and they don't lease game shows from other production companies, but you never know these days. And that's about it on the syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune, and I'll be back later, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, with a couple more video blogs, 2 more video blogs. One will be about the proposed Indigo line for the MBTA. It's going to be diesel trains, which they want to be high speed through several lines. And the third and final video blog of mine is my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is the Doctor of Desire, Tom Pritchard, professional wrestler and trainer, famous for being the Heavenly Bodies. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Button guy. Molly Wilson-Blood of WCCO rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning, she's the best. Amy Swinsy's awesome. Barbara Gibbs has a sweet southern accent, and she's got nice legs. And in the words of Harry Vaughn, former co-worker at Hard Hankstead Technology, negative grandpa. See you later.